sin sin
Hi everyone, and it's your new another young fantasy author here. Today is the final chapter of my novel is out, so if you like 13th century Italy, Greetingse stuff and some tragedy in short stories, you can definitely check out in the link on my bio or description, maybe in comments too. Yeah, you're welcome. In this video I want to share my journey, my writing experience for my first book. It's been funny enough to accomplish this goal by the end of the year, and for your knowledge, I would say I had zero experience before and actually read, I think, less than 10 books in my life. So maybe you can find some helpful advices or some stuff, but a quick disclaimer that there are a lot in YouTube fantasy and non-fantasy authors, lectures, videos about writing, and you should check out them, not me, because they are professionals. They do it for years, for life, and I just want to share my experience, that's all. First off, no magic advices. I think creativity is really personal thing, and what helped me and what I implement in my life could not work with you. So what I had, only idea of my world, of fantasy world, and the ending of my story. Yeah. How do I start write my story? So, like any modern teenager, I just ask AI, what should I do, like where I should start, maybe some exercises for writing, because, as I said, zero writing experience, and I don't know where to start. It basically give me exercises like describe your room or write some dialogue, and I do this stuff like 2 hours a day for 3 days, I think. Maybe some tip for you is just write when you do such exercises. Write about your story, write about your heroes, and my chapter 2 basically is like for a half, or like the beginning of chapter 2 is full of my like these training exercises. Then I created Bible of my story, because I'm really bad with names and I really don't like name to heroes, places, etc. And yeah, I definitely need this. I finished it like in 2 hours, and then I decided, yeah, tomorrow is my day where I start writing. Now the really controversial part for someone, writing and editing, and I have no budget for professional editors and no connection with some publishing house, so I just really ask AI to be my editor and maybe in some kind of mentor, and it really helps me before I'm cancelled and you just close this video and think another AI author or something like that present you my workflow. And first I write a rough draft. Basically it's like chapter, maybe 2, but usually it's 1 chapter. It's usually messy, and second thing that I do, I just copy my text to AI, doing some prompts before, like I have a book, I am a young author, my world is this, my heroes are this, my goals are this, and it's you should definitely understand how to prompt and frame your words with AI and to work, because I really don't like when my author's voice, when my ideas just thrown away for AI. It's totally make no sense. So what I ask it to style, to pacing, maybe some plot holes or logic, punctuation, like basic stuff. Like all editors do this. And responses, for first chapters, I think responses be in a way like your style not as good as you think, and there are some problems, mistakes, and you should really work on this part, maybe rewrite this, or idea like pacing in this part of chapter or all chapter. Sometimes I need like 2-3 drafts of my chapter to be like okay, just okay, and definitely helped me with that. I also asked for example for popular writers, because as I mentioned it earlier, that like less than 10 books in 22 years old. I'm not proud of it, and it gave me some popular names, I think, like Joe Abercrombie, Terry Pratchett, Robin Hobb, Patrick Rothfuss, Brandon Sanderson, and they describing their style and how to deal with these situations. Like it said, like Brandon Sanderson magic system, he would describe this like that, and you should do such a thing or in that way. But definitely helped me to understand more like writing just works, and like it not works overall, but it works for me, because it's really hard to know what is your voice and what you should do, what you shouldn't do. Like you have basic scene, basic dialogue, and you can do so bunch of stuff. You can describe like their relationship, or focus in main character, or mental health or vibes, or just do foreshadowing for other scenes that could happen in the future. And sometimes it helped me and pinpoint my weaknesses, sometimes I don't know. And crucial point for this, it's that I never blindly copy AI text. It's really tool for me, and sometimes helpful, sometimes not. And as I said earlier, I'm the author. I don't need to listen like some tool. What should I do really? Because in working with AI, why I like it, it's not in the way like you work with people, but sometimes you can argue with it and you always will be right. That's I like with working with AI, because I think with the real editors maybe some troubles. They can say rewrite this thing, maybe you could do something better. I know you can do better, and with AI I can say no, I'm the author. I saw this like in that way. You should really know. Maybe you just know because my Slavic accents, but I write in Russian. Basically, I'm Ukrainian, and in English, why in Royal Road you can see text AI assistant, because not on editings and this stuff, but because it's translated to English by AI. So AI just send me text with some pinpointing my mistakes, maybe with stuff like you should rewrite this or you should do that. And what I do, I just thinking about it, processing it in my mind. Should I really do? Does this really bad or need rework, and then I just doing what the most authors do. It's new draft, rewrite, and just text, editing. My workflow was like writing one chapter, first draft, and sending to AI. Then I just editing and writing another chapter. So like I have one chapter ahead, and it's helping me not to stop, just going straight to my goals to finish my book. Because I think if you do just one chapter, one editing chapter, not writing, it's done. Doesn't feel right. This approach truly helps me to maintain the momentum and not lose focus on writing. And part of this less than 2 months, I think I start October 14 and ending by 1st of December, like 3rd of December. Not my book, my draft. My goal was like 1k words a day, but usually I only manage 500 words. It was really hard for me to stay consistent. I can remember one period where I just be very lazy and then like 4 days of me just doing nothing, and it's really shame on me, but I just don't give up. One of the lessons that I learned, it's better to write 100 words, 200, 300 words a day than nothing, because first of all it keeps your momentum. Second, maybe it just block you to write next part because you don't know anything what's going to happen in this chapter or how to start it, which way you should start. Therefore, those 100 words could help you later, and if chapter isn't going well, you can fix it later with editing or like I don't like it when you just copy all your this hardly rating 100 words and you just delete it. But sometimes it really can be helpful to understanding what you should do in this scene or in this part of story. A little bit information of my writing process. Mostly I write at night in my bed with my phone in Google Docs. Why Google Docs? Because it helped me connect with my laptop. Sometimes I'm editing in my laptop. Now the final part is marketing. It's very difficult part for me as an introvert, the guy who never ran a social media accounts and basically know nothing about marketing. But the reality is your books is really less than a drop in the ocean and nobody cares about your stories, even mice. But without content, nobody sees it and give it a shot. It's basically what you need to do as an indie author. My game plan was to doing some edits, funny stuff, or maybe like this video series content about writing, about my novella basically. But to make these videos, short videos, edits, I just simply generated thousands of images using AI. Only a few hundred were good enough, and it makes so much time. Just prompting it can be very harsh and sometimes difficult, because where you have 0 images, and you have some silhouettes or some basic stuff in your mind about your characters, how they look, appearance, vibes, you know. It can be really brutal when you just type these things, prompting in AI, and have a really bad result. But from my personal experience, you just need some patience, so be patient with AI. Then I animated them in Veo and edit in CapCut. Right now I have more than 120 edits ready to go. So this means you can rest assured that you run out of my content, my edits anytime soon. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. It was tough year for me, tough journey, but in the end this is the project I have put hundreds of hours of my efforts into recently, and I plan to make videos like this every few weeks, maybe one in a month. If you have questions about the process, art, AI, maybe some personal questions, you can ask in the comments. If there are many questions, I will make Q&A video. Yeah, maybe some video about all this process with AI editing or doing some prompts, some edits. I will see you soon.